today's Cadma show is starring John Cho. Okay, guys, so basically I logged in like all of you did, whether it was Facebook, Instagram, whatever you were using, and you came across movie posters, popular movie posters, starring John Cho as their lead. And basically what it was a representation to point out the lack of Asians, actors and actresses, in lead roles for just regular old Hollywood movies. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a great way to point out the whitewashing of Hollywood, if you will. Whether you're talking about Scarlett Johansson, it goes in the show. I mean, people were losing their minds over this, and you can't really blame them. Okay, there are plenty of incredible Asian actors and actresses that are available across the board for any of these roles. You get what I'm saying? Here's the thing. However, it seems to be common in Hollywood to just sort of select the person who's the most popular, or pick someone who's a lookalike, or pick whatever's cool at the moment and use them for a role because that's going to bring in the money, opposed to focusing on the content. It's kind of like when they take comic books and they're like, we know what we're doing, and they take all the good stuff out. I mean, I remember when I saw X-Men and I saw Jubilee and I was like, huh? But yeah, but basically they focus on too much of what's going to bring in the money and not enough on the actual relatable content when there's actually a huge market for it. It's one of the reasons why I'm so very proud to be working with AHR Visions. That's me back there. That's Scorn, Spanish superhero lead. And that's Pepe. Oh my, she is so hot, guys. Hold on, let me show you a picture of her. Yo, isn't my friend hot? She's hot, yo, right? I know, you can't have her though. But she's a lead Chinese actress. You may have seen her also in Law and Order. But she's a lead. She wrote her own book and she's starring in her own comic book. I mean, I like this concept. It's one of the reasons why I fell in love with this company, because I felt like there's a lot of things that are missing in mainstream media. Okay, so part of the problem when it comes to being misrepresented in Hollywood's mainstream media is basically based on the assumptions of others. There are some people, and I'm generalizing this, I'm not saying everyone, I'm not saying the other people or them. I'm just saying there are individuals who only indicate what Chinese culture is means you're either a computer IT tech or kung fu. Like, that's pretty much as far as it goes. Or maybe the delivery boy. Like, that's as far as the knowledge, and what's expected of Asian culture or Asian individuals. And I feel like that's one of the biggest issues in regards to that. Like, I remember when the rapper Jin came out. Everyone remember when? If you're too young, you might. I don't know if he's still popular. I have no idea. But I do remember when he came out, because it was such a big deal, because the immediate response was, what? Chinese people can't rap. The same thing like when it came to like white people can't rap. You're like, oh, Chinese people can't rap. When honestly, it had nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter if he's Chinese or not. It does not matter. What's important is that the point of rap is that it's not based on your race or your culture. It's based on your poetic influences over music to describe your pain, your suffering, the things that you love. That's the whole point of rap. Much like any other music, and I don't really listen to rap. Okay, that's not my cup of tea. I like some of the old school stuff, but I'm not really into rap. But that's the whole point of music, and it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? What does his race have to do with him being able to rap? And that's because that's based on the assumption of, well, Chinese people just do. That's what they do. They don't rap. Like, what? As an actor? Basically, these are your options, okay? If you're Asian, you're basically going to be the computer tech, the doctor, the bad driver, or if it's really racist, they do the thing with the teeth. Yeah, I have big teeth, but I don't care. The point is, that's pretty much what the assumption is. Or you're playing the Kung Fu Master. Whoa! Like, that's your thing, or if you're black, you're the hooker, the drug dealer, you're the single mom who's struggling because the baby daddy's no good, and you gotta show single moms we can do it. And I'm not saying that's not a good message, I'm just saying it's too common. Even with white people, you have to be the right kind of white, because if you're not, you don't get to be a part of the club. The same white people will represent the other white people only. If you're not petite, blonde haired, if you don't look quite right, you're not the right white. And even they get that crap too as well. Because I just want to point that out. Like, it's not just them. It's not like all white people. There are some who still have to measure up to the other kind of white, and that's the whitewashing of Hollywood. You know, like if you're not petite, blonde hair, blue eyed, you're out of the picture. If you're Middle Eastern, you're considered automatically a terrorist, or you're running a deli, which is stupid because it's like, what? Like, that's my only role? Like, what if you have this incredible actor? I mean, think of Prince of Persia. Okay, let's look at my Latino, my Mexican, whether you're Spanish origin community, my Latinos, you guys, always represented by either being, let's see, the maid, the old Spanish lady at the bodega who doesn't speak any English, always being sassy. Oh, or my favorite, the Santeria chick who always has to come in and save the family because there's like a poltergeist thing happening, and they're like, oh no, how do we save ourselves? There are ghosts attacking us. And then, like, sure enough, and guaranteed every time, I actually just saw The Darkness, and I was sitting there like, this lady can help you. I'm telling you, she'll change your life. And I was sitting there in the seat going, she's Spanish, she's Spanish, she's Spanish. And she was Spanish. Or the fact that all Spanish people are pretty much represented by either J-Lo or Mexicans. Like, there are other countries in there, you know? Like, I just, in case no one knew. But, you know, that's pretty much the representation. Or even worse, if you're Native American. Yeah. When's the last time you remember seeing a Native American film besides Pocahontas, who did not live a glorious life? Yeah, I'll give you a minute. No, you couldn't think of anything, because all the Native American roles that I've ever seen have always been portrayed by someone who was white, who basically was covered in feathers and like some painting on their face, and this is the world's perception of what natives of North America actually are, as hiya, 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 hiya. Like, that's what they think, and they put the feathers, they put the outfits, which are not ever accurate, because they don't understand the symbology of certain things. They don't understand the symbols, why certain pieces go certain places. Whether you're Navajo, Cherokee, or if you're one of the 6 nations, it does not matter. But they don't understand, so they're like, yeah, no, let's give this some feathers. We are Native American, and you know, which is stupid because they're really just natives. Just saying, immigrants. I'm kidding. I love immigrants. I'm not trumping. But yeah, I mean, think of the last time you saw a Native American actually playing the role of a Native American. Did anyone watch Skinwalkers? Rhymes of Young Ghouls for Young Ghouls? This country has changed year after year. I mean, when we look back at even just 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 20 years ago, it is a whole nother ball game. It's one of the reasons why there was such an uproar about Ghostbusters, because she was representing what was a stereotype, you know, the ignorant black woman of New York City who only works for the MTA with an attitude. She's sassy. That's the whole thing. I wasn't too crazy about the trailer because that's not what my mom looked like to me, even though she's yellow. Oh, she's gonna get me for that one. But, you know, the point is, that was not what my representation of what my life was. I mean, when I was growing up, I was the Asian kid of the school. I was the Asian kid of the neighborhood. And it was this automatic assumption, like, oh, well, you must know Kung Fu. And you have to ask yourself, how do you stop that perspective? How do you stop that assumption? Because whenever I see someone who looks different from me, I become incredibly fascinated. I'm like, where are you from? And what do you do? Brooklyn? That sounds fascinating. What do you guys do in Brooklyn? Like, that's just, I'm weird like that. You know, and if you're from another country, I'm even more fascinated with you, because then I want to, like, take notes and, like, learn languages and stuff. But the point is, like, how do you stop people assuming? You know, and how do you change that mainstream media? And honestly, the best way is to infiltrate it. And the best way to provide change is through demonstration. And there's a lot of creative works. I mean, that's why we have things like this, like YouTube. We have the internet. However, it's not making its way into mainstream as much as it should. You know, we have representatives like from YouTube, like Lily Singh, you know, I Superwoman. She's out there making that change. She's representing, you know, for the minority, which is funny because the minority is all of us together. That includes white people, you know, the ones that aren't being represented. There's this mainstream concept of, we know what's going on and what will sell. Instead, they're just pissing people off as the years are coming by. You know, and I think that honestly the best way is to keep making content. Don't try to force a character to be Asian. You know, it's the same thing whenever they take superheroes and they're like, I'm gonna make this one black, this one Spanish now. You can't do that. You can't. To me, it doesn't make any sense, and I don't like that, which is the reason why I like AHR Visions. Mostly because your race affects you in a certain way, like your culture. You're gonna have certain habits from your country or from your household. That should be what your character is based on, not because of anything else. You know, when my friend Pepe, she was on Law and Order, and she's drop dead gorgeous, speaks perfect English. She's from here. What was her role? She had to choppy English. Like what? What? Like what was the point of that? You know, there's so much more out there. And I think we need more lead roles of, you know, people of all colors. I don't care if they're Indian, if they're from Malaysia, if they're from like some random country I've never heard of and it's next to Antarctica. I don't care what it is. You know, I want to see more. I also want to see more mixed chicks that look just like me. That's what I want to say. You know, but that's okay. I'll be the representation for that. But yeah, I think the best way to present that change is one, pointing out things like this, like starring John Cho. We need to have more of that. You know, what about Ming Na? You know, we have so many actors and actresses out there. I mean, come on, we got them. And for the record, did anyone else get excited when they saw the Apocalypse trailer and there was a real Asian Jubilee? Done! Hey Apple Bites, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like that video. Leave me some commentary. I want to know what you're thinking about being misrepresented in the mainstream of Hollywood. Tell me what you're thinking. And just in case if you haven't become an Apple Bite already, be sure to click down that button on it to subscribe. Become an Apple Bite. Be sure to check us out on all of our social media programs right down there for Instagram, Facebook. I'm on everything. If you don't find the Bitten Apple, you'll find me, Cadma. But yeah, remember that I do make new videos every Wednesdays and Saturdays. And thanks so much for watching and taking a bite.